Hi, welcome to the beginning of the Love of the Night vlog. It's Sunday morning, the first day. I've been sick for several days with a cold, but I have finished my final manga from Izzy, and that is the 5th volume of Spell of Desire, which I am incredibly excited about because I actually just realized this like yesterday. I read the first volume of Spell of Desire as my first ever manga for the first round of Love in the Night a couple of years ago, and organically have read the final volume as my final manga that I have to read and my first Love in the Night. So this is about the daughter of the Black Witch Queen, and she was raised by her grandmother, who was a white witch, and she doesn't know anything, and one of the Witch Queen's knights has been assigned as like a bodyguard and protector to her because the Witch Queen is sealed away and gave her magic into her daughter, and there's just all sorts of things, right? And of course they fall in love. It's a little bit weird in that a big part of the angst is she thinks that not only is her bodyguard like loyalty to the Witch Queen, but she feels like he loves her too, but that's not really true. I love the art in this so much. I think that this is a great manga for beginners. One, it's only 5 volumes, so if you do want to buy the whole series, it's not like, you know, a ton of money. And also, it's just really cute. It's not explicit. The most you get is like topless drawings. These are more hinted at than actually drawn, but I loved this. I love the style of the characters. Like, it's just very pretty drawing style to me. And then also she draws the magic as florals, and I just think that it is stunning. Let me find one without spoilery words on here. You can see how the florals are drawn as the magic, and I just think that's really pretty and really cool. Like, a style that I really like. So love this. Love this. It's a 5-star series for me easily, and just one that I think is a really good option if you're not really into manga. Like, I'm not really into manga. I'm very much a exception rather than a rule manga reader, I feel like. So my kids and husband won't be back until later today, so I had some quiet time. But because I've been trying to get through all of the manga that Izzy sent me, and I did, I was successful. I haven't read any actual books yet this month, so I did try starting the Captive Merman's Promise, but didn't get very far into that. But honestly, I think I'm gonna read Curiosity by Christina C. Jones first. It's only 7 chapters, and I could really use a quick win. So I think that's what I'm going to do for my next book. But my family was gone all day yesterday, so I did some coloring. I already had this guy colored, but I was going through and trying to use every colored pencil that I owned. I also did, again, this was already done, but I did all this yesterday. I don't know, I'm just a fan. I colored a bunch of the stuff on this table yesterday too. So I mean, you didn't need that update, but you have it now. Hello, and welcome to the next update. It's Monday morning, and today is going to be a very busy day of just lots of different things that I have to do. So yesterday I finished 3 things, which I think is more than I read in the entire Love in the Night readathon the last week of the readathon. So I read Spell of Desire, then I finished the Then I finished The Captive Merman's Promise by Zoey Castile. This is a Latinx author with a Latinx main character who's a witch, a bruja, and it's like a Little Mermaid type retelling, but her family has a curse and they can't have love and all the things. I was not a premise that interested me at all, but I did end up really enjoying it. I give it 4 stars. I enjoyed it more than I thought I would. It was a good group read. I really liked it. And then I read Curiosity by Christina C. Jones, and this was black vampires in one of her towns, I think, and I'm not sure if that's... I can't think of whether or not that's in her contemporary or in any of her books I've read, or just other things I've heard her say about it. But it was so good. It was so good. It was only 7 chapters. I gave that 4 stars too. It was just kinky, and I think that there was a little bit more development than needed to be for that long of a book. Like, I think she could have made it just more pure steamy scenes, and it might have worked even better, but it was great. I loved it. There's spanking, there's a little bit of kink in there, so it was a good time. So next, I don't know when or if I'm gonna get to read today. So if I don't read until late tonight, I might start Our Wild Companion. And if I read earlier in the day, I might start A Soul to Keep, might be the title of that. Robin at Paperbacks and Planners. And I were talking about how easy it is to mix up similar titles, similar handle names, all similar author names, all those types of things. So this one is definitely a struggle because I can think of 2 or 3 other books that are incredibly similar titles, and I never know exactly which one I'm saying. But okay. I don't want to do this day, but we have to do this day, so I'm going to go do that. Hello, it is Tuesday. Your girl continues to look rough, but such is life. So I am 27% into A Soul to Keep by Reyne. I'm really liking it a lot. Writing is great. Love his character, love her character, love it all. What I'm having issue with is it's doing this thing that I really dislike so much, and that is twofold, but it's doing both of these, okay? So one is one character just wants love. They are pure intention. They just want to be cared about. And the other character is like, oh, I'm not falling in love with you. That's a terrible plan. It always just makes me so sad for the one that just wants love. I'm like, will you just love them? Oh, they're so sweet. They just want affection. Where's your heart? Where's your humanity? So it's doing that. In this case, it's the monster that like just wants affection. I'm just like, just love him. Just be nice to him. Tell him it's okay. And then the other thing is where you have a character who is taken out of their life and is put in a new life, whether that's because of a marriage of convenience or a captor situation or what have you, but where their life before and the other like life possibilities that they have are not good, and they're being treated really well in their current situation, but all they want to do is leave their current situation, and they're with the love interest in a romance novel, so you know that they're going to be happily ever after in the situation they're in, and they just like won't accept that and are doing everything they can to escape. Or this bothers me a lot with like different cultures when they won't show any respect or try to appreciate the differences. They just view everything as terrible and less than, and that bothers me so much. This one, there's not really a cultural difference in the sense that it's just one-on-one, so it's just the two of them, right? Even though they are very different, and she does treat him well, but she's planning to escape the entire time, and I'm like, why are you doing this? So 27%, and I don't know when or if that changes, but I am stressed out. But I'm so bothered. I'm like, can you please just love him? And don't leave. You're gonna die. Which obviously we know she doesn't die, because it's a romance novel. But oh man, they're stressing me out. So I need them to get over this situation and just live happily together for the next 70% of the book. But so I actually quit reading it last night because I was just like, no. I need something else before bed so I'm not stress streaming all night. But, which I did stress stream about my video, as one does. And also my daughter came in my room in the middle of the night and slept with me half the night, so rough start to the day there, but alright, that's it. That's all I've got for you. I'm stressed out by this book. I just need them to love each other. Hi, it's Wednesday afternoon, and I finished A Soul to Keep by Opal last night. 4 stars. Really enjoyed it. Loved the entire concept. Very cool. I didn't love the conflicts and stuff, and part of it is like, if she gives him her soul, she'll be his bride, and she doesn't want to do that or anything. But also, like, she can die a lot. Like, there's a lot of things that can kill her, and actively are trying to kill her. And if she gives him her soul, it's like eternal life. Now, I understand that you might, you know, have some hang-ups about getting into an eternal relationship with somebody. Like, a big issue is that she can die by, like, all the things. And, like, you have a magical cure to not be able to not have to die by all the things. And it just seemed like, I don't know, maybe we could get on board with that quicker than we did, but it was okay. So her, like, wanting to leave him and stuff, she, like, left, like, the very next page, you know, and, like, they got that conflict out of the way and stuff. I was like, okay, yes, 30%, that's a good spot for that. I really like that. I liked it overall, and there are some great steamy scenes in this. Loved it. I really liked the setup for the next one. We got to see the Dustwalker that is going to be, you know, the love interest in the next one, so that was really cool. It was quite long, which didn't necessarily bother me, but also I do feel like some of that could have been edited and it could have been shorter. And like I said, a lot of the conflicts and stuff were either, like, blatantly obvious to me what was going to happen, and or I just felt like were not my exact cup of tea. You know, there were type that annoyed me a little bit, but it didn't annoy me a lot. So I definitely overall very much enjoyed the book and would recommend it. Yeah, it's great. It's a great, unique monster romance. And the tongue scenes, top notch. So yeah, another 4-star. This is the Readathon, the 4 stars, I guess. So this brings my total up to 4 books. The last update I saw from Bree on 11 Words was that she was on book number 8. So, I mean, it's not a competition, but I need to step up my game. But also, my sister is in labor, so I should hopefully get a baby nephew today. Hopefully today and or tomorrow. So, hoping that goes well. Obviously, childbirth is not easy and it is not completely safe, so definitely, you know, worried about that. But that also means that my 2-year-old baby nephew is being watched by my parents, and I'm going to spend some time with him and, you know, all the things. But still, need to prioritize reading, because really, what are your priorities? What are your priorities? Reading. I need to beat Bree more. I need to be a good family member. But so yeah, I haven't read anything yet today. I'm either going to pick up One Heart by Chace, Verity, Queenie and the Krakens by Aleera, or I might pick up this office orc one. I'm not really 100% sure the title on that, but I think I have all the prompts done, I think. So yeah, so far, great success is being had despite a less than stellar week physically. So, that's all I got for you. Hi, it is Thursday evening, I'm gonna go on a date with my husband, so I'm excited about that, to spend some one time with him out of the house. That'll be great. I did get a baby nephew yesterday, and so my 2-year-old nephew did spend the night and was here this morning and stuff while his mom was in the hospital. So all of that went really smoothly, safe delivery, very happy about that. So then last night I started Spirit Halloween by somebody. Who is this by? I wrote it down. This one does. Spirit Halloween, or Halloween Spirit, sorry, is by Latexa Nova. This is like 53 pages and I DNF'd it. I was not having a good time. The humor did not work for me at all. You have a girl who's like out of college, but she's taking her little sister to a frat party, and she's dressed like a clown, and she keeps making like the most god-awful puns, and she runs into a Grim Reaper, and she thinks it's a costume, but it's actually a Grim Reaper. I saw Brienne in 11 Words had spotted this. I hated it. I was gonna finish it, and I was like, no, I'm not skimming the final 40% of this stupid novella. I hated it, so I do know that. And then I read, what did I read? Then I read Her Wild Companion, which is Desiring the Beast #1 by Rianne Burnett. This is like another 50, maybe less, page erotica. It's like a horror erotica, but it was really just a shifter erotica with one measly sex scene that was not even that much at all. So I gave that 3 stars. It was okay. I really liked this one, which is the demon one by this author. I read it for Black Readathon last year. The others have been a little bit of misses. I know there's a couple that Ashley really loves too, so I need to read more, but this one was meh. And wasn't particularly hot either, so that was a little bit disappointing, because I thought I was going to get some good steamy scenes, but I honestly did not. And now I am reading, at the recommendation of Robin at Paperbacks and Planners, Mirror Monster on My Wall, a steamy Why Choose Regency Monster Romance by Tam Nicnevin. And I cannot find out anything about this author. They are a ghost. So I've started that, and she's being forced into a marriage that she doesn't want, and she's in an abusive home situation. Her aunt is terrible, and she's had these, she has dolls. No. And they represent like her dream lovers. There's 4 of them. And she hides the dolls behind like this giant mirror in her room, and she's being forced into a marriage. So I'm stressed out, but also it's a short book, so I'm like, surely we can't be stuck in this being forced into marrying our childhood bully for very long, because the book's not that long. So I might even message Robin and be like, I'm stressed out, does this go away really quickly? So we'll see, and we shall see. But that's what I'm reading right now. So none of the things I said I was going to read, completely different things, and hopefully this one's a win. Hi, it's Friday, so tomorrow is the last day of the readathon, and I have finished a book and started another book. So I finished Mirror Monster on My Wall, a steamy Why Choose Regency Monster Romance, Shadows and Glass book #1 by Tam Nicnevin. There are no other books by this author currently. There's no information on the author. I'm going to assume that the author is BIPOC, just kind of based on the book. But yeah, I don't know. This was so interesting. First of all, I gave it 3 stars, and I really waffled between giving it 3 and 4, but I have a lot of thoughts in a very short book, so quite interesting. Number 1, our main character is neurodivergent. They also have a stutter and have other definitely like sensory issues. And one of our monsters is deaf. This is a very queer Wise Shoes. You have a couple of like female monsters, couple non-binary monsters. I think one could be considered like asexual. They didn't like to be touched. They would use like shadows and stuff to be involved if they felt like it that night. And some of the monsters are trans, and they're also like humanoid or non-humanoid. They all have 3 or more eyes. Some have mandibles, some have like claws and stuff. Here's the thing. I am not a clear visualizer when I read, right? I've mentioned this in many videos, but I can see details as you're describing them, right? So if you're describing red ribbon to me, I can see the red ribbon, and I kind of get the idea of your outfit and stuff, but like 3 details later, the details you already told me are a bit, you know, muddled. So like as it's describing the monsters and stuff, I am having trouble visualizing any of the things, and also as it's describing like multiple sex scenes, like I don't see it clearly or anything. I'm like, okay, fingers there, claws there, but now like I forget what the other things we're doing. So I just struggled a little bit with understanding what was happening with the monsters and the sex scenes because I couldn't see it clearly, and I would say that's more of a me issue than a writing issue, but it did definitely affect my enjoyment, right? Also, the monsters, a couple of them used like different pronouns. So one was like X pronouns and one was E pronouns, and obviously I liked having that included, but I did struggle a little bit with it. It added to the confusion of the monsters and the sex scenes for me. Like I was just having a little bit of difficulty with those scenes. Again, I would say that's more of a me issue than a writing issue necessarily, but it also was my experience with the book. So very abusive there at the beginning. You do get to see the abusers get brutally unalived, which is what we want. And I liked the idea overall. This is kind of an Alice in Wonderland type retelling. It's definitely inspired by that. And I could not care less about Alice in Wonderland, but that didn't bother me that was like references, but I understood the references, right? Overall, just like a bizarre a bizarre Why Choose, and like the monsters were very monstery. It's definitely a little bit horror-y, like it was intense, and like I said, queer, neurodivergent, BIPOC, like all sorts of good things wrapped up in a little anonymous novella. I would recommend this. I would say, you know, it's not written in the most accessible style, but I also was feeling compelled to read it. Like I was into it. So just a very interesting blend of things, especially particularly the writing style and like me struggling, but also like being obsessed. So it was good. It was good. I would recommend if it sounds interesting to you. And honestly, I don't know, but possibly if you are neurodivergent, you might have a better reading experience with it than I did. So, I mean, that's something to think of too. Then today I started Charming Your Dad, I want to say, by Sarah Blue. I saw this, I got this specifically from Jackie on the same page. I think it is her usernames. I follow her on Instagram, on Twitter, on TikTok. I had her on a live. I really like her content a lot. She read this, and it is it is a witch dating her ex's dad, but her ex's dad is a demon. And I am enjoying it so much. Her coven is like very hippy dippy, I guess is like the best way, and she is not, and she's so annoyed with her coven, and they are like annoyed with her. So like they're all about Moonwater and like not using their magic for ill and stuff, and she's just like, we should be using our magic for gain. I don't know, I like her a lot. And I really like the dad a lot too. So I'm into it. I'm not very far. Let's see what I've got. This is going to be my last book of the readathon, and honestly I picked it specifically because its length. It's like 323 pages. A bunch of the other books that I wanted to read were significantly longer or significantly shorter, and I was like, I've got some time today and tomorrow. I want to read one more book. I want it to be a book non-novella, and I don't want it to be like 500 pages. So I am 11% into this book, and they have just met and had their first interaction and stuff, and it's good. It's good. I really like the writing so far. So this will be my last book for the readathon. Tomorrow's the end of the readathon. We have the live show for the group book. But yeah, one more book. Did I beat Bree? No. Including my DNF, I've already done 8, and then this will be 9. And I'm sure she probably beat me, but you know, maybe Steph beat her. Go Steph. I don't know. I'm just making things up. Anything could be true. I feel like I had a really good week. I'm definitely ready to branch out a little bit with my reading, but good amount paranormal. I stuck to the things. I'm glad that I kind of deviated from my TBR and picked up things that I've seen like since the readathon started, or since I made my TBR. I was like, oh, that sounds really good. I'm glad I've allowed myself to do that. I think that was a good move. So yeah, this is where we're at, and we're almost done. So very exciting stuff. Holy cow, this has been like 9 minutes. All right, goodbye. Hi, the readathon is over, and I finished my last book right before the live show last night, which was Charming Your Dad by somebody. I really liked it. It was very charming, very delightful, and then it was too long. I skimmed the last 30% of that book. It was too long, and so I ended up giving it a 3 because I did really like a lot of things about it, but ultimately it was too long. So you've got a witch and a demon that is her ex's dad. That was interesting the way that it played into that. There's BDSM, there's a sex club, there's daddy kink, there's weird things happening with the coven that I wasn't anticipating, just all sorts of stuff. And so it was interesting, but too long is my take. So that's it. That's all the books I read, all the things I did. And now it is time for Bengals football, and I get to see my baby nephew for the first time ever. So I'm gonna go get some pizza, do those things, and I had a great time as a host. I really enjoyed my time. I am happy that I agreed to it, and I'm looking forward to the next round in a few months. But right now, I'm really looking forward to some mood reading. I want to try and get at least one thing in for Black Readathon, but it's the 16th, and I have had dedicated reading for the entire month so far, and that just does not work for me. So I need to do a little bit of mood reading and hopefully get one Black Readathon dedicated read in there with the mood reading. But yeah, I had a great time, and overall a very successful week. So thanks so much for participating, for watching, whether you participated or not. Now, I didn't beat Bree, but it was still a good week.